Good morning everyone. Today in this session I am going to discuss regarding the polysaccharides. Polysaccharides. The word itself indicates poly means many, saccharide means here carbohydrates. Monosaccharides, large number of monosaccharides, they are combined together by glycosidic linkage to form a polysaccharides. Monosaccharide units, they combine together to form a large chain polymer is known as the polysaccharides. Here the monosaccharides, they are joined together by glycosidic linkages. In polysaccharides, here we study first one is starch. Starch, its formula is C6H10O5, C6H10O5 N times is the molecular formula of starch. In starch, here there are two components are there. One is the amylose and another is the amylopectin. In general, the starch on hydrolysis produces maltose. Starch on hydrolysis produces maltose. Here starch in presence of ptyalin or amylose, salivary amylase as an enzyme. Salivary amylase or it may be a ptyalin. Starch undergoes hydrolysis in presence of salivary amylase as an enzyme or ptyalin to produce maltose. Maltose further undergoes hydrolysis to produce glucose units. In this way, the starch on hydrolysis produces the n number of glucose units. Starch is having it is made up of two components. One is the amylose, it is a water soluble component, and another one is the amylopectin, it is water insoluble component. If you see starch, its formula is C6H10O5 N times. We can write it as starch C6H10O5 N times undergoes hydrolysis in presence of salivary amylase or ptyalin to form n number of glucose units. This starch is having two components, amylose and another is amylopectin. Amylose is what type of component it is? Water soluble. Amylopectins are water insoluble components. Water insoluble. Here both these amylose as well as amylopectin, they are made up of alpha D plus glucose units. They are made up of alpha D plus glucose units. The starch, it contains 15 to 20% amylose, whereas 80 to 85% of the starch, it constitutes the amylopectin. Amylose, it is water soluble, it is about 15 to 20%, it is the starch. Starch contains about 80 to 85% made up of amylopectin. If you see its structure, These amylose, they are having linear chain polymer, whereas amylopectin, they are branched chain polymers. These are branched chain polymers. This amylose, it is made up of 200 to 1000 glucose unit. Approximately it is made up of 200 to 1000. What type of glucose units? Alpha D plus glucose units. This amylopectin here, the monomer for the amylose as well as the amylopectin. In general, the monomer for the starch is alpha D plus glucose units. It is made up of alpha D plus glucose unit, starch. Monomer of starch is alpha D plus glucose unit. Here, if we write the structure for this amylose, here the alpha D plus glucose units, they are joined together by C1 C4 linkages and they form a linear chain polymers. Whereas for the amylopectin here, these alpha D glucose units, for about 20 to 30 alpha glucose units, they are joined linearly. After 20 to 30 glucose units, here the branching takes place in case of amylopectin. Let us write the structure for amylose as well as amylopectin. But what is the monomer here? Both contains alpha D plus glucose units. Here the arrangement is different. Amylose is linear chain polymer, whereas amylopectin is a branched chain polymer. What is the monomer of starch here? Alpha D plus glucose units is a monomer of starch. Here amylose, water soluble component of starch, they are made up of alpha D plus glucose units. In the last class we have discussed regarding the alpha D plus glucose units, how to write the structures. This is one alpha D plus glucose or alpha D glucose units. Alpha, here first carbon will be HOH, second carbon HOH, third will be OHH, fourth carbon will be HOH, fifth will be H and sixth will be CH2OH. Third, 4, 5 and this is the sixth one. This is alpha D plus glucose units. Another alpha D plus, if I write n number of alpha D plus glucose units, they are combined linearly. For about 200 to 1000 alpha glucose units are joined together. When you write here, this is the first carbon, second, third, this is fourth, this fifth and this is the sixth one. Alpha will be H for the first carbon, HOH, second will be also HOH, always it will be, third will be OH, H, fourth will be HOH, fifth is HCH2OH. Similarly, here also continuous there will be joined alpha D glucose units will be present. N number of alpha D glucose units are there. Here it will be HOH, remaining CH2OH, this will be OH, this is OH. These are all remaining are all what here? H. C1 of one glucose unit, it will form C4 with the another glucose unit. C1, C4 alpha glycosidic linkage is formed. OH, 2 hydroxyl group, in which the elimination of water molecules takes place. Remaining is what? Only oxygen. So, C1, C4 alpha glycosidic linkage is obtained. N number of alpha glucose units, they are combined together by what type of linkage this one? Alpha glycosidic linkage. So here continuously there will be linear chain polymer of alpha glucose units. They are joined together by C1C4 alpha glycosidic linkage. They are joined by C1C4 alpha glycosidic linkage. Amylose is a linear chain polymer, n number of alpha glucose units, they are joined by C1C4 alpha glycosidic linkage. This is the structure for amylose. Next comes here the amylopectin. Amylopectin. Here the n number of, that is 20 to 30 alpha glucose units, they are joined by glycosidic linkages. Here n number of alpha glucose units, that is here 20 to 30 alpha glucose units, they are joined by alpha glycosidic. C1 of one alpha glucose unit, it will form linkage with C4 of another glucose unit, and it will form alpha glycosidic linkage, or it is also known as alpha link or alpha linkage. After 20 to 30 alpha glucose units, the branching occurs between this first carbon atom and the sixth carbon atom. This is the sixth carbon atom. Here continuous will be the alpha glucose units. Here this is the sixth carbon atom, this is C1, 2, 3, 4, this is 5, and this is the sixth one. The linkage takes place between C1, C6 linkages. Where the branching occurs, there the branching linkage will be C1, C6 alpha glycosidic linkage is formed. Here OH, OH, CH2, OH, water molecule is eliminated, CH2. Remaining is what? CH2 and O. It will form C1C6 glycosidic linkage. So CH2 remaining is what? Only one oxygen. Wherever the branching takes place, there is a C1C6 linkages. At the branching position is C1C6 linkages. After 20 to 30 alpha glycosidic linkages, where the branching takes place will be the C1C6 alpha glycosidic linkage. Between the glucose units, it will be C1C4 alpha glycosidic linkage. Here also C1C4 alpha glycosidic linkage, but the position where the branching takes place will be between the C1 and C6. C1 of one glucose unit, it will form a linkage with C6 of another glucose unit, and it will form a alpha glycosidic linkage. In this way, the amylopectin, it is a branched chain polymers. 20 to 30 alpha glucose units, they are joined here. After 20 to 30 glucose units, where exactly branching takes place, here it will be C1C6 linkage, but here it will be C1C4 linkages. After 20 to 30, then one more branching takes place. In this way, these amylopectin, they are branched chain polymers, whereas amylose is a linear chain polymers. Amylose and amylopectin, its monomer is alpha, they are made up of alpha D plus glucose units. Starch is a polysaccharides. Starch, it is a storage polysaccharides. Starch is stored in the plants. Starch is a stored form of energy. It is a stored carbohydrates present in plants. After this starch, next comes here cellulose. Cellulose is a polysaccharide which is made up of beta glucose units. Cellulose is made up of a monomer is beta D plus glucose units. Cellulose, it is a linear chain polymer. It is a linear chain polymer and it is having C1C4. C1C4, here beta glycosidic linkage is obtained. C1C4 beta glycosidic linkage is seen in case of cellulose. Where is the cellulose present? Cellulose, it is mainly present in the plants as an organic substance. Cellulose, it is present in the cell wall of plants. Cell wall, the main constituent of cell wall is the cellulose. Cellulose, it is present in cell wall of plants. It is a linear chain polymer. Its monomer is beta D plus glucose units. Beta D plus glucose units, they are joined together by C1C4. Since they are made up of beta D glucose, hence what type of linkage it will form? Beta glycosidic linkage. Let us see the structure here. This is HOH, if I write it is alpha. For beta it will be OH, H. Second will be HOH. Third will be OH, H. Fourth will be HOH. Fifth will be H. And this will be CH2OH. Here it will form, this is the first carbon. If I take another is a fourth carbon. In this way, the glycosidic linkage is seen. See 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 5 and this is 6 CH2OH. Just I can write down the only OH groups. Here will be OH. Above will be one more, it will be continuous linear chain. This is H and this is OH. It will form C1, C4, beta glycosidic linkage with the elimination of a water molecule. Removal of water molecule takes place. It will form C1, C4. What type of linkage it is? Beta glycosidic linkage. Here continuously n number of these glucose units, beta glucose units, they are joined in a straight chain, they are joined linearly. In this way, the cellulose is formed. The main constituent of cellulose is the cell wall. It is present in plants. This cellulose forms the organic substance which is mainly present in the plant kingdom. Using this cellulose, we can prepare, because of this cellulose, wood is nothing but it is made up of the cellulose which we use for paper industries, as well as it is used for textile industries for making the cotton. Cotton also, it is a source of cellulose. After this cellulose, here next comes here glycogen. Glycogen, it is present in the form of a storage material. This glycogen, it is present mainly in the animals as well as here it is acts as a animal starch. Why we call it as a animal starch? Because since it is a glycogen is present in the stored form in the animals, hence we call this starch as a animal starch. Commonly starch is a storage material present in the plants, whereas glycogen is a storage material present in the animals. Hence it is known as animal starch. Here glycogen on hydrolysis in presence of enzymes, it will produce n number of alpha glucose units. Glycogen on hydrolysis in presence of enzymes produces n number of alpha glucose units. This cellulose mainly it is present in the liver as well as muscles and brain. It is present in liver, muscles and brain. It is stored in muscles, brain as well as liver. It is also known as a reserve food. Glycogen, it is also present in the fungi. It is present in fungi also. This glycogen, it is on hydrolysis produces n number of alpha D glucose units. These alpha D glucose units, their structure is similar to that of the amylopectin. In amylopectin, we have seen that branching takes place. Similar to that of amylopectin, here this glycogen is also a branched chain polymer. But here this is highly branching takes place, because branching takes place after every 8 to 10 alpha glucose units, whereas in case of amylose after 20 to 30 glucose units the branching used to occur, but here after every 8 to 10 glucose units the branching occurs. If you see the structure similar to that of this amylopectin, here also the C1 C4 linkage is seen between the two alpha D glucose units, but after every 8 to 10 alpha D glucose units the branching occurs from C1 to C6. C1 C6, C1 C6 alpha glycosidic linkage is same. Here continuous will be the alpha glucose units, they are joined together and they form a chain. But branching is seen after 8 to 10. After 8 to 10 C1 C6 alpha glycosidic linkages are seen. Between these two alpha D glucose units, what type of linkage it is? This is C1 C4 alpha glycosidic linkage is seen. Just what is the difference means, after 8 to 10 glucose units branching occurs in case of the glycogen, whereas in case of amylopectin after 20 to 30 glucose units the branching occurs. This is the difference. Since after every 8 to 10 the branching occurs, so compared to amylopectin, this glycogen is highly branched. After 8 glucose units branching takes place, after 8 glucose units branching, hence this is highly branched polymer chain is a glycogen, whereas the amylopectin is also branched, but compared to amylopectin this is highly branched polymer chain. Glycogen is a highly branched polymer chain. Highly branched polymer chain. We have discussed the three polysaccharides. First was starch. Starch was in the form of a storage material. Where it is stored? It is stored in the plants. Whereas the cellulose, it acts the main constituent. It is present in the cell wall in the plants. Whereas glycogen will form a storage food, that is in the form of a reserve food. It is present in the animals. Starch is a storage food for plants, whereas the glycogen is the storage food for animals. Hence, we call this glycogen as an animal starch. After this, let us see what is the differences between the cellulose as well as, between the starch as well as the glycogen. Any differences? Either maybe starch or cellulose. If we see the structural difference, starch, it contains here it is made up of linear as well as a branched chain. Starch is made up of linear and branched chain polymer. Branched chain polymer. If I consider this one, cellulose, it is made up of only the linear chain polymer. In cellulose there is no any branching, only linear chain polymer. Structural difference we are seeing, linear chain polymer. Where is the starch present? It is present in animals as a storage polysaccharide. It is present as a storage polysaccharides in plants. Where is the cellulose present? It is present in cell wall in plants. What type of linkage is seen in case of starch? Alpha glycosidic linkage. Whereas in case of cellulose it is beta glycosidic linkage. Here, where is the linkage takes place? Two types of linkages are seen in starch, that is C1C4 linkage as well as C1C6 linkage. Whereas in case of cellulose only one type of linkage we observe here, that is only C1C4 beta glycosidic linkage is obtained. This is the difference between the starch as well as the cellulose. Even you can write the difference between the glycogen and cellulose also. In the exam they may give you the question, write the differences between the starch and cellulose, means you can easily write down this one. Next comes here the biological importance of carbohydrates. Biological importance of carbohydrates. Or they may ask you whether the carbohydrates are a source of energy, explain. We can even write carbohydrates are source of energy. Carbohydrates are source of energy. These carbohydrates, they are generally the sources of energy here. Why we call it as a source of energy? Because the carbohydrate in the plants, it is stored in the form of a starch, whereas in the animals it is stored in the form of a glycogen. Hence we call carbohydrates as a source of energy. Carbohydrates mainly it acts as a biofuels which provides the energy. These carbohydrates, that is the cellulose, if I take, it is present in the cell walls. They are the main constituent of the cell membrane. If we intake the starch, the food what we eat, it contains the starch. When we intake the food, it mainly contains the starch. Starch is nothing but storage that is storage polysaccharide which is present in the plants. When we intake the food, here mainly consists of a starch. Starch undergoes a hydrolysis. It undergoes hydrolysis in presence of salivary amylase, or it may be ptyalin. Initially starch will form maltose. Maltose further undergoes and it will form the glucose units, alpha glucose units. In this way, the glucose is produced by the hydrolysis using salivary amylase or ptyalin enzyme. It will produce the glucose. This glucose, it is the source for energy. This glucose, it enters into the blood stream. The glucose, that is C6H12O6. Glucose, when it reacts with the molecular oxygen which is present in the blood, this glucose reacts with molecular oxygen and it will form carbon dioxide and a water molecule. Along with that, there is a liberation of 2850 kilojoules of energy. A large amount of heat energy is liberated. This heat energy, it is nothing but the energy which is required for the normal temperature to maintain in the body. This energy is used for various cell synthesis, the various processes which are taking place in our body. This heat energy, it is nothing but a source of energy. In this way, the starch provide the energy for the living organisms. Starch on hydrolysis in presence of salivary amylase produces glucose. This glucose, it enters into the bloodstream and it reacts with molecular oxygen. It will form carbon dioxide, water. Along with that, here 2850 kilojoules. This much amount of energy is released. This energy is used for various processes which are taking place in our body, that is the cell synthesis to maintain the normal temperature. In the muscular activity, this energy is used. In this way, the starch is converted into useful form of energy for the living organisms to survive. Here, the food we intake, all the glucose is not converted into the energy. How much it is required for the body, that much only it is connected into the useful energy. Remaining excess of glucose, if it is present, what the body will do, the human body, it will store this glucose in the form of a glycogen. Glucose is stored in the body in the form of a glycogen with the help of a hormone insulin. Insulin helps the conversion of glucose into glycogen. This glycogen, it is acts as a reserve food. We call it as a reserve food. Why we call it as a reserve food? It is storage material which is present in the animals as well as in the human beings. Whenever we are not feeling well, whenever we are ill, what happens? We won't take the food properly. We will be starving because we don't feel to eat when we get fever, when we are not feeling well. In such cases, what happens? In our body, the glycogen, it is present in the stored form. This glycogen undergoes hydrolysis in presence of enzymes, and this stored glycogen in presence of enzymes on hydrolysis produces glucose. So, this glucose, it enters into the bloodstream, it reacts with molecular oxygen and provides the energy which is necessary for our body to maintain its temperature and various processes which are taking place in our body. Glycogen, it is stored in the form of a reserve food in our body. Whenever the body requires the energy, at that time the glycogen is converted into glucose in presence of some of the enzymes. In this way, glycogen acts as a reserve food storage polysaccharide which is present in the human beings. How the glycogen is present? Similarly, whether we can convert the cellulose into glucose? No. The cellulose we cannot convert into glucose. Why? The reason is because the human digestive system does not contain the cellulase enzyme to convert cellulose into the glucose. Hence, cellulose is, since cellulase enzyme is not present, it is not possible for the human beings to digest the cellulose. So, if you take the cellulose it is present in wood. Wood is the main source, it is made up of cellulose. Wood we use for the various materials to prepare the benches, tables, even for windows and various furnitures we use the wood. Wood is nothing but the cellulose carbohydrate. And the cotton, the cloths we use, that also contains the main source is the cellulose. Since cellulose is the main source for the wood as well as for the cotton, this cellulose is generally, that in the form of wood, it is used as a paper industry, it is used in the textile industry, carbohydrate cellulose. And it also forms a source for the beverages, that is for the alcoholic beverages, we use these carbohydrates. The two main storage material in carbohydrate is the starch, which is present in plants, and glycogen, it is present in the animals. Hence, we call glycogen as a animal starch. Even carbohydrates, they are present along with the proteins, they are present in the nucleic acids. Nucleic acids, you all know that DNA, RNA. In DNA, that is 2-deoxyribose is the carbohydrate, whereas in RNA, D-ribose is the carbohydrate. These are two carbohydrates which are the main constituents of DNA as well as the RNA. They carbohydrates are the constituents of a nucleic acids. These carbohydrates, they are also present in proteins, and they are also present in many, that is they are present in the cell wall of the bacteria, fungi and so many creatures. There is a large useful regarding these carbohydrates. It is a main source which is essential for the living organisms to survive. In the next class we discuss regarding the proteins, its classification and amino acids and so on. Thank you.